Hey, I'm Brett. I'm a writer, an author, and a book coach, answering some of the aspiring authors' most likely asked questions. Question number one: am I talented enough to write a book? Yes, you are. Absolutely. Anyone on this earth can write a story. Anyone can. The quality of those stories are going to differ based on experience, like skills, how you've developed them, your perspective, whatever. But yes, absolutely, you are talented enough to write a story. You can do it. Don't let anyone tell you you're not. I think a big part of this question is expectations management. Who are you writing the story for? What are you writing the story for? Am I talented enough to write a New York Times best-selling book? Maybe. Maybe not yet, but you could be. If you put in the time and the intention and the learning and the work, yeah, I'd say the odds are pretty good that you can get there someday. But you got to stay committed and you got to stay disciplined. Are you talented enough to write a story? Yes. But are you committed and dedicated and disciplined enough to finish it? That's the real question you should be asking. Question number two: what if nobody likes it? Who cares? I mean, people liking books sells, and is the main reason why they sell, so it is kind of important. But honestly, the real question to ask here is, do you like it? The stories I write are not written to market. They're not written for the literary agents, as much as I try sometimes. They're not written to be the next New York Times bestseller. They're not following market trends or what's selling right now. I'm writing the stories that I care about and I like to read. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important to me. If people like them and buy them, that's wonderful. But it's not why I do it. I do it because I genuinely love writing and the creative process. It's a puzzle to me. I like putting all the pieces together and creating something that I can actually enjoy. And I do. I go back and I read what I wrote and I'm like, wow, I actually really enjoy reading this, and like still laugh at things that I wrote years ago. That's what it's about. It's about loving what you're doing. And so, will people enjoy it? Yeah, probably. You just have to, first of all, you just have to find the right group, the right niche that's gonna like it. But mostly the real important question to ask is, do you like it? And I hope you do. Because that's what writing should be about. Writing the books that you want to read. Next question. What if I spend years writing and fail? How are we defining failure here? What does that look like? Is it that you weren't traditionally published? There's a lot of variables that go into that. Is it trendy with the market? Does it fit the literary agent? Does it have like commercial potential? Like there's so many variables that go along with it. I think we really have to ask ourselves, how are we defining failure here? But honestly, like for me, writing is a journey and it's beautiful. And, you know, for 10 years, I wrote close to a dozen stories, none of which will ever see the light of day. None of them will ever be published. And does that mean that I failed? No. Because my mentality was with each book that I write, with each story that I complete, each manuscript that I finish, I learned something and I became better. So, you know, even though I wrote stories and nobody, you know, really picked them up, or I never published them, or any literary agent ever showed me any interest, that wasn't the point for me. The point was to improve my writing and to just get better, with the assumption that eventually it would yield dividends and, you know, I would publish, which I have, and I like that. But for me, I think it's a lot about how we frame failure. And for me, any day that I spend writing is a success because it's something that I love to do and I enjoy. Ooh, how do I balance writing with a full-time job and family? Well, as someone with full-time job and a family, it is not easy, but really it's just about trying to create pockets of intentional time where you can focus. Whether that is before your kids wake up, whether that's after your kids go down, whether that's on your lunch break or hour or whatever, even if it's just 10 minutes. You know, I think for me, the mentality that I've really adopted as my family has grown is 100 words on the page is 100 more than I would have had if I hadn't done it at all. So even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just like writing down some ideas in the Storyteller's Almanac, or ideating a little bit, or trying to resolve something in my head as I'm driving, like as long as I'm making forward progress, that's what really matters. Because as long as I stay disciplined, as long as I stay committed, the story will happen. I just have to keep chipping away at it. Part of that is expectations management, part of that is discipline, but really it's just trying to make forward progress whenever you can.